Merry Christmas. Welcome to my bedroom. Not your usual podcast. I'm on my own, but I thought for the Christmas special, I'll humiliate myself for your Christmas entertainment. We'll see how long it lasts. As you can see, my room is blue, which I'm not particularly fond of. My nonsense is orange. But we have got some celebrations, traditional Christmas treats. So yeah, this is the Far Side episode 12. Now I like the bounties. Nobody likes the bounties. I like the bounties. But I only like the bounties because I forced myself to like bounties when I was very small. And this is a pretty sadistic story. Oh my god, my bounties fell underneath my foot. It's okay, it's my fault. I had a granddad called Grandad Roy. My dad will appreciate this story. My nan Oaks would have a tuck box in a particular cupboard in the house that would come out when I came round the house. Now I knew that my granddad Roy liked bounties. I didn't like bounties, but I liked taking nice things away from people when I was small. And I used to take my granddad's bounties. And, yeah, I was just fucking twisted childlike. Pretty sadistic. I used to take his bounties from the tuck box, eat them. Not particularly enjoy eating them, but enjoy watching his reaction. So, yeah, not the most Christmassy way to start off a podcast, but it is Christmas. I hope everyone's having a nice time. It's been a new one for me this year, obviously because of moving to a new city, fresh circumstances, new vibe. Cure vibe. That's a TikTok reference, by the way. I'm obsessed with TikTok at the minute. What do we talk about? What do we start talking about? I have a little list written down here, some funny stories. In fact, I want to start off by saying how frustrating the process of making a podcast is. The last podcast that I did with Caleb, I basically spent 15 hours because my laptop decided to throw a tantrum, which is very, very frustrating. But we got it out there in the end. We sussed out what was wrong with the laptop. I had no memory left in my laptop, and I was trying to render a video. It's fucking boring. Why would you need to know about this shit? All you need to know is we're here now. It's Christmas. And I do have some good news because I've recently become an uncle. Well done to my sister, Laura. Shout out. Shout out, Jackson. Pretty funny story, actually, because when my sister was giving birth, she, sort of stopped halfway through for a little breather. And I think while she stopped, it crushed Jackson's head. And he came out looking like a cornetto. Like his head was shaped like a cone. And we didn't have a name for him when he came out, so we took to call him Conehead. And then I thought, well, name him Connor. You know what I mean? Conehead, it's got a reference. But they decided to name him Jackson, which is a nice name. And the reason why they went with Jackson is because my sister's second name is Jackson, and she didn't want to lose her second name, so she decided to call Jackson as his first name. And the funny story is, when they were in the hospital, the nurse went, "You go and call your kid Jackson Jackson." So yeah, it wasn't the only stupid thing that came out of her mouth either, because when she explained the kid's name is going to be Jackson, the nurse said, "Is that with an X?" And my sister went, "No, it's with my current boyfriend." That's our family for you, basically. I'm now an uncle. It's a really nice feeling, I'll be honest. I mean, I'm a little bit autistic, so I don't really know his personality yet, so I don't like him that much, because all he's doing is shitting and sleeping. But that's kind of like base neutral for most personalities. If you're eating and sleeping, you're not really causing anybody any trouble, are you, really? If that's all you're doing. And that's all that Jackson's doing at the minute. He likes being held, he likes being fed, he likes sleeping. He just doesn't like being naked, which I'm I'm at a mess with because I love being naked. I will say as well, I should have been recording more podcasts in the year because we have really got a year to reflect on, because this is kind of a Christmas/New Year's Eve special. So it's a reflection on last year's podcast. And if you haven't seen it, I did it with my brother Joe Martin, and I watched it back the other day and I was like, oh my God, I have changed so much in 1 year. The first noticeable change is the fact that I've gone from being a bit of a maniac. I took a lot of cocaine, basically. I took a lot of cocaine last year. I wanted to be sober when I moved to Manchester. Now, I'm not sober, but I'm more sober. I've cut out the drugs. The last time I touched any Charlie was like 3 months ago, which is not that something to be that proud of. But that's the longest time I've gone without, that kind of stimulation of the brain and the heart. And also personality-wise, I think I've changed. I've become a lot more responsible for myself. I'm taking much better care of myself. I'm not seeking out the thrill anymore, because I realised that I was seeking that out because there was obviously something missing in my life. And I think it was just like I wasn't comfortable with being myself. And I think when you're just high all the time, this is deep, you can run away from your own mind a little bit because you just numb yourself. But for me as well, the cocaine sort of helped me to be truthful and honest. Like, I felt like I couldn't be myself unless I was on something, because my personality is basically cocaine. So imagine a personality of cocaine taking cocaine. It's like a nice jigsaw fitting together, and I'd use that as an excuse. But I've stopped doing that. I've not just stopped doing it because it's not good for me, it's not good for my head, but I've stopped doing it because I can't really afford to be doing this anymore. I wasted so much money, so much time, when I should have been doing things like this, being creative, working on my music, working on myself. And this is what I'm doing now. I'm going to the gym every day. I mean, you can't see really. Keep looking, you'll find them eventually. But I have got some guns. Benching 75k, which is my weight. I can bench my weight, which I think that's pretty good going. I'm doing a lot of swimming. I'm going to the sauna a lot, and this is my treat really. I'm not really eating chocolates, but thanks to Mr. Crawford, my housemate, who kindly donated this box of celebrations after winning them in a pub raffle. Yeah, he came home the other day with a basket full of shit. That Valerie from The Office has just like sort of gone to every shop and just put all sorts of shit into this basket. And there was about 10 boxes of chocolates. There was like a can of beans, a can of sauce that nobody's heard of. What else was in the box? Oh, a lot of Christmas pies. What do you call them? Mince pies. No, I like mince pies. Not everybody likes mince pies, but I'm a weirdo, and I like things that people don't like. I like pineapple on pizza. I like sparkling water. I like Bounties. I like mince pies. I love olives, I'm just... Or, is it that I'm weird, or is it that I'm not fussy? You know what I'm saying? I think people that don't like one of those things, like if you don't like any of them foods that I just listed, you need to fucking grow up. Oh, I'm sorry, man. No, you don't need to grow up. People that don't like them foods, your New Year's resolution is to like one of them foods and open your mind a little bit. Anyway. I've seen Spider-Man, the new Spider-Man film. I won't spoil it for anyone, but it's so fucking good. I've been dying to talk to somebody about it. Possibly the best Spider-Man movie. It had everything in. It had the perfect arc for Peter Parker. It had the nostalgia. I think, I'm not ruining it by saying that there's other Spider-Man in it. Their presence was so good. It was done so well. The script was on point. I was a bit upset with the last two Spider-Man films with Tom Holland in, because I felt like they didn't really represent the Spider-Man that I grew up with and that I know, because, you know, he's like a poor kid from Queens and he's basically a normal kid, but he's still a superhero, and that's what made him Spider-Man, you know. But I think in this universe, in the MCU, he was like Iron Man's protege, and he just had everything given to him, his suit, the technology. But in this film, it kind of kickstarts that character arc that we all know and love to be Spider-Man. And also, it makes you forgive all of the mistakes from the previous films, and that includes from the other actors that played Spider-Man. I won't ruin it. I won't go any further, but I will say I highly recommend that everybody watches it, and I also highly recommend that they watch it not in the way that I watched it, which was like watching a Philippine copy of it. It wasn't the best quality, but there's no chance I'm going into a cinema. I don't want to do this social distancing shit. I don't like cinemas anyway, in general. I just find them really uncomfortable. I don't know why, I just do. Probably because I've had loads of panic attacks in cinemas. Also, I haven't got the money to do it, so... But that's not something that I advocate. Don't, you know, you wouldn't steal a handbag. You wouldn't steal a fucking car. So why steal a movie? Don't do what I've done. But yeah, Spider-Man's cool. It gave me a little bit of joy to finish off the end of the year, because it's ended in a depressing way, hasn't it? Thank you, Boris. Thank you, UK government. Thank you, Omicron. Yeah, what a bunch of wankers. I'm done. I think everybody knows my opinion. Everyone sees me as, you know, an anti-vaxxer, which I'm not, but apparently I am, because the new definition of anti-vaxxer is, if you do not believe that it should be forced upon people, then you are an anti-vaxxer. So fuck it, I must be. That's me. But yeah, it's just, how long is it going to go on for? But yeah, what else has been going on in my life? I quit my job. I quit my fucking job, and that was a real leap of faith that I took, and it's actually worked out. For those that don't know, I was your typical shelf stacker in Tesco. Loved the staff, loved the people that I worked with. But I'd had enough, man. It wasn't me to be standing there. Not that I'm saying I'm above people that do it, but it came to a point in time. I've been doing this shit for 3 years, and, you know, pretending to care, telling me about targets and sales and shit, and I'd be like, I didn't give a shit. And I feel like I'm an authentic person, and one thing that I don't like doing is lying, and I had to lie a lot in that job. I actually made a TikTok about this the other day. One of the worst things, one of the most disrespectful moments for me when I was working in Tesco was when a customer had come in with his son and he said, "Oi, veg boy, where are your cabbages?" And I was like, what the fuck did you just call me? The cabbages were like over there, but I thought, fuck you, you can have a cabbageless dinner tonight. So I told him we hadn't got any cabbages in. So I proceeded to tell my staff members of the situation, who obviously found it hilarious. And then for the remaining year that I worked there, every department called me Veg Boy. So the moral of the story is, suffer in silence. So I quit my job. And to be honest, it was a blind move, really, because I had the opportunity of moving to Manchester, not knowing what I was going to do, and then a few good people around me said, why don't you do freelance? Why don't you do your video and your music work, but actually start charging people for it? And I was like, whoa, what an idea. That's like, it blew my mind. I could be doing what I was doing already, but instead of doing it for free, I could be doing it as a job. So that's what I've been doing. The difference between working a Tesco job and working freelance is you have to kind of live day by day. and it's fun. Don't get me wrong. It's pretty it's quite daunting. Like I wake up, I'm like, right, where is my next payment coming from? But it's adventurous, you know. It's more me. It fits my personality more, and mentally, I'm happier because it sounds so simple, but I sleep when I want, I eat when I want, and I wake up when I want, and that is worth keeping. And I never ever want to go back. I still deal with knobhead, of course, but you know, it's not necessary for me to comply. I think I've run out of things to say, so I think that I just might pull the podcast there. Hope I gave you some form of entertainment. Hope you're having a lovely day. And if you're not, then I'm really sorry about that. See you next time.